As far as I can see, most of spirituality serves the dream state much more than it serves the awakened state. Some of it serves the awakened state, and that's a nice thing. But you kind of got to pick through it like looking for needles in a haystack sometimes, you know? To find the jewels. So this isn't theory. It's not some spiritual philosophy or theology. If you just are quiet, you can feel this inextricable movement. It's not actually an upward movement any more than if there's a bucket of water and there's a hole in the bottom, it just drains down. And so we don't actually help the process along. We don't make it happen. It's more like you let it happen. Instead of chasing enlightenment, if you want to do anything, spend your time looking at each moment how you manage to unenlighten yourself. Forget about chasing enlightenment. That's like a dog chasing its tail so that it can become a dog. Right? If I just bite that thing right there, if I just catch up, then I will achieve this thing called dogness, which is enlightenment for a dog. How ridiculous, right? What's the point? It would be much better for the dog to sit around noticing how he inextricably continues to convince himself that he's not a dog. That would be much more useful than tail chasing, wouldn't you say? Spirituality is the same way. Don't worry about awakening. Don't worry about enlightenment. Don't worry about reality. Don't chase it and grasp it and try to imagine what it's like and all of that. If you're going to do anything, just look at any moment. How am I unenlightening myself right now? How is it that I'm pulling off the ultimate miracle of seeing separation where there isn't any? How is it that in the midst of a reality which is everything is at one, how am I actually pulling off this amazing, magical feat of not perceiving it? You see? That would be much more relevant. And not only would it be much more relevant, it would be much more empowering. Because then you get to look at you, right? You don't have to chase around somebody else's silly little experience that they told you about, that you think you want. That's very disempowering. It's no fun. It's running around hoping that some wonderful thing will happen. Who wants to do that forever? Because the truth is just the opposite. That's the miracle of this all. See, to me, illusion is the miracle. Reality is not a miracle. How could it be? It's just reality. Everything's just one. And oneness is not a mystical experience. Okay? It's not expanded consciousness. It's not those moments at the beach where your head like expands forever and you merge with the waves and you know what I mean. I don't know. Those are nice experiences, don't get me wrong. I like them as much as anybody else. But they're misleading because those get mixed in with what oneness is. And then oneness becomes sort of this mystical, magical fantasy. But when it starts to dawn on you, it's just the underlying sense of sameness. You just see through the lie, like, no, it's not actually true that we are inherently different, that anything is inherently different. Everything looks different. Of course it looks different. But when your denial of the underlying unity breaks down, you see, actually, it's the same thing somehow, appearing in many ways. It's not a mystical experience. It's practical, it's simple. See, Bhante was running around chasing something for 9 years. That's what made it difficult. He didn't wake up because he found what he was chasing. He woke up because his chasing burned itself out. It was purged out of his system. It was like imagine someone is jogging on a path, and you jog next to him, and you say, where are you going? Oh, I'm looking for rest. Why don't you stop? Because I haven't found rest yet. But you can find it if you stop. I've been running for so long, I don't actually know how to stop. I've forgotten all. If what you say is true, that's nice, but I don't even know how to stop my feet. But I'm sure if I keep running, I'll find rest. So the chap runs and runs and runs and runs and runs, right? If it was me, I would just say, hell, accelerate. Sprint. It's right there around the corner. You see? But get there, someone else is beating you. Right? And if it's not around that corner, run like hell to the next corner. Full speed. Right? Don't slow, no matter how tired you get, don't slow down. Why? Well, he might exhaust himself, right? That's what Bhante did. It's like he didn't find rest because he found rest as something out there. He found rest because he exhausted the seeking. And all of a sudden he stopped. It's like that. It's like someone running who's looking for rest and they get exhausted. And so they can't run. And so for a moment they sort of inextricably stop. And their body at that point knows, oh, rest. Their mind doesn't need to know rest. It's not important. But their body knows. And then, of course, their mind will laugh. Good Lord, this rest was actually, at any point I could have stopped. So you see, if you were a Bhante and you were like that person running, and then you rest, and then you finally exhausted yourself enough to stop, you might spend the rest of your life telling people, all that running around, it's not necessary. Rest, all you have to do is stop running. That's all. Enlightenment, just stop looking around the corner for it. All those things that we think are in our mind that we're chasing, stop chasing all that. If you're ready for this kind of message, then a stopping will happen quite spontaneously.